Speakers can be going gangbusters until they get to the Q&A. They can crumple and be buried under the weight of stress that destroys their reputation and credibility. We don't want that. Find out more in today's show. Welcome back to Year 6 of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which we release every Monday. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, master trainer, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. Zaegyo is the translation of Japan Sales Mastery. Anatamo Puruzen no Tatsujin is the translation of Japan Presentations Mastery, and my latest book is Stop Wasting Money on Training, and the Japanese title is Training de Okane o Muda ni suru no wa yamimashou. We are bringing the show to you from our high-performance studio in the center of Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? We are here to win in business in Japan. Let's all be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. This is episode number 304. Never fear the Q&A when presenting. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. Obviously, we all have some trepidation when it comes to Q&A, but Japan is quite far behind the rest of the advanced countries when it comes to public speaking. Let me put it on the table. The level of presentations here is abysmally low, and excuses abound. People here talk about a Japanese style of doing public talks. This is their excuse for not being at the global standard for communication skills, and it allows them to get away with amateur hour presentations. What they actually mean by Japanese style is they speak in a monotone with a wooden face, use no gestures, make no eye contact, employ no pauses, and ah with gay abandon, engage no one in the audience, and are supremely boring. They kill everyone in the audience with their unprofessional slides, 8-point size font, 4 different font types, 5 garish colors. They turn their slides into a psychological warfare weapon that decimates their audience. Because everyone is so bad, this is thought to be a style, obviously different from Western presentations. It isn't a style, it's just plain bad. Not being properly educated in how to give professional presentations, the trickier bits like Q&A are even scarier territory. For any speaker, once the bell sounds for Q&A, the struggle is on. As the well-known American philosopher Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Relatively speaking, Japan is a kindergarten for Q&A compared to Western audiences. The ferocity of questions here is kid stuff. So you would think that everyone would be very chipper about handling the Q&A, but that is not the case. Here are some areas of the concern we found when we polled our Japanese students of presenting. Number 1, if the audience is not familiar to us, we get nervous. The reality here is that strangers are confronting for Japanese. The chances of having a lifetime of speaking to familiar audiences would be statistically impossible, I would say. The inference here is that it is less daunting to speak to a tame audience who, because they know us, won't unleash fury upon our heads during the questions component of the talk. Unfamiliar audiences should be considered the norm. I've delivered over 550 speeches so far here, and I cannot recall ever giving a talk to the same audience twice. The way to deal with this unfamiliarity is to be well prepared and have thoroughly rehearsed beforehand. That is a tell, I would guess. 0.001 of Japanese presenters have ever rehearsed their talk. Number 2, I'm not sure if I can understand the question properly, and also not sure if it's okay to ask them to repeat the question. Japanese society is very polite, so that is why until recently you'd be lucky to get any questions at all for your talk. The thinking has been that is impolite. The nuance is that by asking a question, you're implying the speaker wasn't clear enough in their rotation. Also, I don't think any Western audiences would even consider the possibility that it isn't allowable to ask the questioner to repeat their question. In Japan, that request implies the questioner wasn't clear enough the first time, and so it is a veiled criticism. Because the request for the repeat of the question is made in public, there's a possibility that the questioner will lose face. We can't have that. My advice, politely ask the questioner for clarification on their impenetrable question. Japan is a polite place, so ask politely and put yourself at fault and not the speaker. You might say, "Thank you for your question. I really want to answer it correctly. So would you mind repeating it once more for me?" Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to become a fully competent and confident presenter, then do the High Impact Presentations course. We are all being judged when we speak, be it in the internal team meeting or in a public environment, be it the big bosses, clients, or an industry audience. Everyone is evaluating us. Don't blow it. Get the best training on the planet. Do the High Impact Presentations course now in either Japanese or English. Speaking in public means our personal and professional brands are on show. Let's make it a total success. Japan Presentations Mastery is the Bible for presenting in Japan. This is the most comprehensive collection of experience and insight on presenting that you will ever need. Don't work it out by trial and error. Buy Japan Presentations Mastery and learn how to be confident, clear, and persuasive. Buy Japan Presentations Mastery now. Welcome back. Number 3, not clear on how to answer the question. Hey, this will happen to all of us. In my case, I do a lot of public speaking here in the Japanese language, and I've always found that the Q&A is the most difficult part. This is not for the ferocity of the questions, but because of the fog of the language. Japanese is a highly circuitous language, and vulgarity is a prized achievement. Sometimes I have no clue what they're asking me. If we can't answer the question, then we are human. We cannot always be the font of all knowledge, and there will always be occasions where we just don't have an answer for that question. We should apologize. Fess straight up. Thank you for your question. I'm afraid I don't know the answer to it at this point. After the talk, let's exchange business cards, and I'll do my best to come back to you with an answer after I do more research on that topic. No one will complain about handling it this way. Number 4, no questions emerged because the audience weren't paying any attention to the speaker. Most talks in Japan are supremely dull, so naturally the audience escapes to a more interesting place like their smartphone. Suddenly the Q&A springs up, and as they haven't been paying attention, they have no idea what to ask. The call for questions goes unanswered. So there springs forth this painful, embarrassing silence as everyone carefully scrutinizes their shoes, ensuring zero eye contact with anyone. The speaker is left high and dry, and the talk finishes on a low note of disinterest. It feels like all the oxygen has been sucked out of the room. The speaker deflates, and then in short order departs. If no questions are forthcoming, ask your own question. A question I'm often asked is, blah, blah, blah. This will often break the ice for someone else to muscle up the courage to ask their own question. I'm always amazed at how well this works in Japan. No one wants to go first, but interestingly, they're happy to go second after you started with your own question to yourself. After doing this, if nothing is still forthcoming, then do a final call for more questions. If none emerge, then give your final close and finish the proceedings. Here are 2 basic rules for answering any question. Always repeat the question if it is neutral to make sure everyone in the audience heard it and to give yourself valuable thinking time before attempting to answer it. If it is a hostile question, then paraphrase it by stripping all of the emotion and invective out and make it sound neutral. For example, is it true you are losing money and that 10% of the staff are going to be fired before Christmas? Thank you. The question was about current business performance. And then you answer it. We call this taisabaki in karate. You slip off to the side, away from confronting the full force of your opponent's attack. We will face Q&A when giving our talks. Changing our mindset about welcoming the opportunity is a good place to start. We can add more information we couldn't squeeze into the talk. We can elaborate on a theme we raised. We get a chance to engage more deeply with our audience. When we shoot down a nasty, vicious, brutish, hostile question and destroy it, this makes us a legend of public speaking and adds serious luster to our personal brand. Bring on the questions. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and so please subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Hit the little bell icon to receive update notifications. Our website details are on screen now, www.dale-carnegie.cojp. It's packed with value, so certainly check it out. We try to offer as much value as possible, so you might also enjoy our other shows. In fact, we are releasing content 6 days a week. For podcasts, Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, Tuesday for the Presentations Japan series, and every second Tuesday for the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show, Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series, Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday for the Business Pro Podcast Show, Fridays for the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays for Japan's top business interviews. Now, you get these wherever you get your podcast. Also, every Monday we release the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Every second Thursday we release the Business Pro Television Show, and every Friday the Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, every Saturday, we are releasing Japan's top business interviews. These are all on YouTube. We appreciate your support, and please let others know about it so they can benefit too. We want to make a contribution to helping people build their careers and businesses, and so please join with us in that endeavour. In episode number 305, we are talking about, have you upped your sales game with 5G speed? So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. We've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.